Hey guys, I'm Jasmine. Welcome back to my channel, and today I started working on thumbnailing part 2 of Space Warriors, which is a really big deal because they thought this day would never come. Now, how did I accomplish this thing? Well, as you might have seen that earlier, I had already printed out the templates to start thumbnailing, and although I haven't finished writing the full script for part 2, I wanted to start thumbnailing it just so I don't forget how I imagined the scenes. Actually, today my friend Nicole came over. Since we both work from home, it seemed like a great idea for her to come over and work on her comic while I worked on my stuff. She's actually a real comic book artist, and I highly recommend that you check out her work in the description below. While she was here, I was able to complete several pages of thumbnails. I think it has been a very productive day. From the last vlog, you saw me create the template for the thumbnails for it, and here are what I was able to work on during the work session with Nicole. I'm actually so excited about this that I kind of want to continue to work on this and see just how long I can go. I think I'm gonna do it. Let's see if I can spit out a couple more pages. I'm finally there. I'm hitting the point where two things. I need to have proper perspective in mind, and also I need to have this city that the two main characters are in figured out. I've been muddling through this for years, basically, on what this city is going to look like, and it's going to be Art Deco sci-fi style, and it's going to look extra dramatic because of the lighting. And I know it's supposed to look like that, but I haven't quite drawn all of that concept stuff down, so I'm at a point where, like, should I draw the concept stuff before diving into thumbnails, or just put some markers on the thumbnails and move on and figure out the concept stuff later? I almost want to think it's the latter, but what if how you properly conceive of something when you're world building, what if that can affect how you thumbnail or storyboard the story? Like, is it the chicken or the egg? Probably, It's probably you should have your world building concept out before you go into thumbnailing. I think that's the answer. Probably the answer, because it sounds like the most responsible answer. I think with that said, I don't want to put any thumbnails down on those specific scenes that feature the city. So what I'll do instead is not draw in the thumbnails when it comes to those particular scenes. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just going to highlight the page number and move on. It's just a cityscape scene that shouldn't be affected by the story, right? So I should just move on and continue to thumbnail the story part of it and not worry so much about what the aesthetic of it is, because I can always figure that out later. Now, the only problem that this method of pretty much running away from your problems is that what if when you finally figure out what the city looks like, you decide that it actually should require 2 more thumbnails to properly give the viewer a feeling of what the city looks like. So again, this is how your comic workflow is going to be affected when you make changes. When you make changes, how is that going to look? Is it going to make sense? And can you stay organized? In the future, if I end up having to add another page to give a sense of what the city looks like, I might just draw it in here, just, you know, sneak it in here and call it 33.5. That will be the easiest solution for any future additional thumbnails once I'm already drawing through, right? I hope you agree, because I have absolutely no idea what I'm doing. I'm still in my PJs because it's Sunday morning and Jonathan had to go to his office and I haven't been able to sleep very well in 3 nights. I'm not entirely sure how to explain why I haven't been able to sleep, but my mind has been racing for 3 days on creative ideas. Like I can't stop, I can't turn it off. I sat in bed for hours last night just staring at the wall and inadvertently thinking about projects, writing stuff in my head, and yeah, sort of in like this daydream state for 3 days, which is cool because I am getting a lot of creative stuff done, but at the same time it's kind of exhausting. Like I want to sleep. I would definitely like to feel a little bit more grounded, but since I can't seem to control it at the moment, I'm taking full advantage and writing it all down. It's been pretty intense. And because it's Sunday, I refuse to change and make this feel like a weekday, because other than that, this would be just a pretty normal day for me. But no, it's a weekend. I'm gonna stay in my PJs for at least half an hour more. Let me change this because we've been getting some weird shadows and it looks a little sinister. So in regards to Space Wars, there's 3 things that I have been avoiding / afraid of for years, and I am now finding myself confronting it because we're at that part in the story where I'm gonna have to do it. And the first one being that there's gonna be a lot of pages that are landscapes of a city, and I don't have too much experience drawing buildings. I've been kind of avoiding it all my life because perspective is really hard, and I didn't finish art school, so I'm just not equipped to really understand perspective very well. But I do have books, so I've just been procrastinating on tackling learning perspective. But so that's one. You're happy this morning. The second fear is that part 2 is going to include a lot of fight scenes. And that's another thing I've never really drawn is people fighting, or non-people fighting too. So I'm a little bit hesitant about my capabilities in that department as well. And that's pretty much the 2 things. I don't know why I said 3. It's 2 things. Those 2 things I am dreading, absolutely dreading, and I've just been pushing it back until future Jasmine will deal with that. But I'm in the thumbnailing stage now, and I can't even draw these things thumbnailed. I'm gonna try to do more thumbnailing right now, but if it's really blocking my ability to draw out these scenes, then I'm probably gonna devote a few hours today to studying Art Deco stuff and perspective and figure drawing some fighting stances, so because that's important. So I'm curious to know what your fears, what are your art fears and the things that you have been avoiding because you're scared that the moment you draw them they're gonna suck so badly that you're just gonna want to give up entirely on everything because you're a terrible artist and you're not gonna go anywhere in life. I'm pretty sure it's common artist feeling. I'm very much familiar with that, and I know what the triggers are, and perspective and difficult positionings are definitely the triggers for those feelings. So I don't want any of that. it's really funny? That despite the fact that I have a grid behind everything, I still can't seem to manage to draw a straight line. I think I made enough concept stuff for today. Otherwise, this is just gonna drain the life out of me. I really don't enjoy this sort of angular design stuff, but it is necessary for the story. That was actually not as bad as I was imagining it to be. I feel pretty good, actually. A really good start. I mean, it's not perfect, but really not as bad as I thought it would be. This is why you should always have very low standards for yourself, because you'll never be disappointed. Since the city stuff is fresh in my mind, I think I'm gonna tackle thumbnails and eventually change out of these pajamas and have breakfast. I got my first blackout mistake. Woohoo! Okay, I'm getting really hungry, so I'm gonna take a break. I'm not sure if this is the case with you, but when I'm thumbnailing, I get really tired very quickly. And it's not the same with drawing. When it comes to drawing, it's almost like therapy and meditation. I feel extremely refreshed after drawing, but for some reason, thumbnailing really is tiring. My brain turns into mush before I've storyboarded 5 pages. I'm guessing that that is because you're using different components of your brain. Sometimes drawing can be a very automatic thing and you don't even need to think about it, depending on what you're drawing. But there's only so much thumbnailing I can do in large spans of time, and I kind of forgot about how this always happens. I'm gonna have to extend that deadline. I'm not going to be able to thumbnail 200 pages in a week. I don't think it's gonna be possible. I'm on page 40 and it's taken me, I've locked it in, it's taken me 6 hours. 250 already written out in the script. That's kind of more of a week. Now, of course, coronavirus is happening right now, so we're all on lockdown. So perhaps it might be feasible and I might not have to move my deadline, but not gonna promise anything. I still have to finish writing the script. Another thing that I wanted to mention was the fact that while writing the script, if there are particular scenes that are extremely clear in your mind, you probably want to already be thumbnailing that. Maybe not on the comic template, but scribble them down somewhere in a notebook so that you can refer back to them when you do get to the thumbnailing phase. Because I find that at the beginning of the script, where I'm at right now in terms of thumbnailing, I kind of don't remember how I visualized those scenes when I was writing them. It's not like I'm not going to figure it out, it's just extra time and brain power. I basically have to rethink the scene twice. One time while writing, another while doing a thumbnail. Perhaps I had just scribbled down a very messy version of that thumbnail as a side note. I wouldn't have to be doing double the work. And that's only a few weeks between writing the script and the thumbnails. I know friends that have written a script years before and are in the thumbnailing phase just now because an opportunity came up or they've moved on to this project. So if I'm already forgetting how I visualized the scene within a few weeks' time, I can't imagine years. Mixing the processes of the thumbnails and writing and all that stuff, I think it's okay to be mixing them. Sounds like it's more efficient. call from Jonathan that he's on his way from work. So it seems like the rest of the Sunday we're gonna hang out, and in the meantime, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do, so that you can continue this journey with me on how the heck I'm going to make this comic work. I hope that you watching this process has been helping you with your project, if you have one. Whether it be comics or stories, I would love to know what you're working on so that we can be in this together. I'll continue to be vlogging this, and I guess I'll see you in the next video. Bye! You betcha I'll be taking some melatonin tonight.